Today is the last lesson before a final exam, so I will start with discussing final exam because this is the most important part. After this, I will wrap up discussions that started at the previous lesson here because I missed previous lesson. We missed lesson in S building, so we had previous lesson here in this room, and I promised to have some kind of wrapping up of the previous topic today, and it will be wrapping up at theoretical level, linked to the code that we had. I tried to write code yesterday, honestly I spent 2 hours and realized that it's not even half the way done. So it was already evening, so I had other things, lots of grading things to do. Sorry about delaying that one. You will have about half of the grades before exam, and the rest of it will be by the time when it's due. So again, I'm sorry about delaying grades. I had issues with health and other related issues to health. Let's start discussing exam. Exam is on Tuesday, obviously, because Friday is not even winter term, because winter term officially ends on Thursday. Friday is already holiday, official holiday. So exam is on Tuesday. It means it is last lesson today. Format of the exam is previously announced, like midterm. You have 20 questions for 20 minutes, true false MCQ. In this time, I will link it together into Dropbox. So Dropbox will open only when you finish quiz. For me, it is easier this way, so students who are not in class, they cannot see second part unless they're in class and do first part. For example, if somebody is skipping exam for good or bad reason, they cannot see what was on the exam for second part, unless somebody passes this information, obviously. So I don't plan to reuse it for my CAP examples, but I just keep making copies, and then eventually I have so many copies, it's probably at some point I need to stop making them. For this reason, Dropbox will open when you finish quiz, which shouldn't be an issue. When you finish quiz, it's open, so you can do quiz. You can do practical one. Quiz for the exam, it is 20 questions, 20 minutes. I post this late. It's posted today. It will be due night before exam, so you have time to rehearse the stuff. Questions come from the same pool, but it's 20 questions, 15 questions, not 20. Not the same questions because I have more than 20 questions in the pool, but some of them could repeat, some of them could be similar question rephrased. So be careful when you do it, read carefully. So true false could be changed to opposite because of some note in it, or something like that. Or MCQ could be slightly rephrased, so be careful about that. Also, it will be some questions that are not on the quiz because it's 20 questions, this is 15. Quiz is 3 attempts, true false MCQ mixture, and closing time, it's midnight before exam day, so Monday night. I strongly recommend you to do it because it's kind of rehearsal of it. Most of the questions are from the second half, but some are from the first half, like split about 10, 5 from previous one, 10 from the second half. For midterm, it will be also split, smaller half. It is before midterm, larger half. It will be not half. It cannot be larger. A larger portion. Okay, larger portion. That is material after midterm, which is angular. It is 3 attempts, highest is recorded. Our exam is only 1 attempt, that is recorded. Both require lockdown browser and webcam. So make sure that your laptop has webcam. I have a spare one, but I have only one, so I will bring it, but just in case somebody have trouble with that. Make sure that you have either with laptop or separate one you plug. What about practical one? Practical part, practical is similar to combination of assignment 3 and assignment 4, but smaller version of it. And simplified version of it, because you have limited time, you need time to debug, so this is why it's smaller. In the assignment 3, I asked you to no, in assignment 4, I asked you to load JSON, right? And using server. In assignment 3, actually, no, in assignment 3, I didn't ask you to use JSON, right? So it was assignment 4 JSON. So I would say it is related to assignment 4. Except it is one page. And data is coming from file. So it is like simplified version of Flower data. So I'm not making server. I will give you a JSON file. So like Flower data is loading data from the same server, serving data from the file. We discussed that it's possible to serve data from a file using the same HTTP server. It works fine unless you need to change data. In most cases you do, but in this case it's simplified code, so it's not to worry. Nothing to worry about because it's simplified code due to limited time. So remember that in in last assignment, I asked you to use material design and display data in the tables. I link it to pages. For simplicity, like details pages. For simplicity, in your assignment, you need to display data from given file. So you put file into data folder of your app. And your program is sending request to the address of the file, and server sends content of it. Okay. I provide file. So it's not server. And reason is practical because I have two sections. Maybe some students will do it in testing center, and making another file, it's easier than making another server. So for this reason, for practical reason, it's a file. So use material design table to display data from the provided, to load data from the provided JSON file. So I give you file, you put it into the folder of your app sends request, it will receive JSON data, and it will process data and put it on the page. Okay. Put it is in material design table. If you couldn't somehow figure it out, material design table in assignment 4, use just regular table, you will get partial credit. So this part, it is like from assignment 4. Load data, but in assignment 4 it was real server and it was multiple pages with links. In this case, just table from file. A file will be different from sample file. I post sample file, so you can practice of creating this app. So this is material design table. Title is material toolbar and footer is material toolbar. In my examples related to material design, I had example with forms, with input and output page, right? And I had two versions of it using material design. In those versions, I use a toolbar at the top and toolbar at the bottom because there is no such thing as material design footer. A footer, when we use it, it is just imitated with toolbar at the bottom. It is the same code, but if you want to really stick it to the bottom, you edit CSS of it. And open my examples to see how to edit CSS to make it stick to the bottom. It's like location, I believe, 0 or something like that, and something else is instruction. Just copy paste it to look it up. It's open book. You can look it up ahead of the time. So it is in my examples how to make toolbar stick to the bottom. You need to edit CSS file of that component. The same about title. Title just stick to the top of the page, or just first thing in HTML, so it will be on the top. What is this? It is material card. It is also component of material design that appears like a piece, white piece, pop it out. It's not really white, it's shade of some white, and it pops up with shadow. Example of material cards in rock, paper, scissors example that is using material design. I had a version of it and discussed this in class when we had a picture of paper, rock, or scissors in some kind of boxes wrapping it. It is card. You can copy paste code from there, or look it up, or get that code from material design website. Display one image statically. It is not linked to any clicks. It is always on the screen, always in this place. I will provide, on the exam, I will provide you image, use that image. Don't link to web, because something on web, the reason is that web stuff is not reliable, who knows, maybe it goes down. I will give you image, use that image. In today like practice, it has the image per row of the table, but you just use one and put it here. I'm not asking you to put images in every row. For the same reason as on the exam, it's extra work. On the exam, it's extra time, and we don't have time for that. Okay? So wrapping up. A practical part is one-page application and without navigation. So it's always displays this stuff. Of course, when it is table, if table is long, it should be scrollable, but it will be scrollable by default. Not table itself, but page is scrollable. It's possible to make table scrollable. Don't go in that direction. Not far more, but more work. Easiest, just do this, scrollable. Tables that display JSON from the file, JSON data from the file, but as table columns and rows. Material card that contains only one image in it. Title in the material toolbar, and in the material toolbar at the bottom, your name and current date. Date should be when date you run the program. It shows current date and time, or just date. Definitely you need to practice. I posted file here. Data file and image files, just pick one of them and use it. They already resized it to reasonable size, so it will not be huge or tiny, so just put it in and use it in the... I assume it is reasonable size. If it's not reasonable size, just use width and height as attributes of image to make it smaller. So this contains data file and image. A data file is similar to your assignment for data, except it is only list of pets and no pet owners, no fancy data, just list of pets. Okay. Any questions about this part? So this is like a sample of final exam theory, except it is 15 questions, you have 20, and from the same pool, not the same questions, but some may overlap. When you practice, it will be exactly the same questions. So you do 3 times the same questions just to improve your score or learn that as well. When you will get questions on exam, I will select it randomly. I will not specifically pick question from the quiz or question that wasn't on the quiz. So I will pull it randomly, but not as automatically. So because after pulling this randomly, I will look through. So it's a reasonable combination. Not just everything in the beginning, but without end. So to make sure it's reasonably spread. So it is random, but I will try to cover a scope. Okay. Most of the questions will be about Angular. It's like 2/3, and about 1/3 is about Spring Boot. And this. I will also post PDF file that describes what I told you. but briefly. And I will post video recording that I'm recording right now. And in the PDF file, I will tell you that for more details, refer to video recording. Questions? Definitely, before coming to the exam, you need to do practice to make sure that you know how to do it, because exam it is too late to start learning how to do it. You will definitely have enough time during exam to fix bugs in your code if you previously did something similar. If you didn't do something similar previously, you have to figure out it from scratch. Something goes wrong. After this, you need to fix bugs, and it's also extra time. So for this reason, sample exam is posted today. Exam is on Tuesday. You have several evenings. I assume that you will do it. Okay. I strongly recommend to start it in class. When I finish this part, I will also quick discussion of theory, like another 20 minutes. And after this start in class, you'll have about 1 hour to do it. Somehow previous section they just disappeared. They didn't do it in class, but it's their decision. I will stay till 6 o'clock here anyway, and in that class I also stayed till 3 o'clock anyway, because I just was sitting and working. In case somebody will drop in later, like end of the class, like last moment question. The same as today, I will stay till 6 o'clock, but the instructional part will be over in probably 20 minutes from now. And you can take breaks anytime. It's your time. I strongly recommend you to at least start doing it, because it's harder to resolve issues by email if something goes wrong, because there is no lesson before exam. So you have to be ready by Tuesday. Right? And again, I'm late with grading. I'm sorry about this. It's multiple issues, unfortunately, linked to each other. I will start grading tomorrow. Other things that not besides the quizzes that automatic. And the goal is to have half of it graded by exam and half of it graded by the end of the week. All grades are due on Tuesday, but week after, not exam on Tuesday, obviously, but week after. So by that time, it will be posted. The goal is to post it on weekend of that week. So you'll have Monday to look through and send me your kind of notes if it's not expected. Okay. You know that we have two systems that maintain grades, Slate and actual Access Sheridan that displays grades, final grades, right? They are not even linked to each other. And when I enter final grades to that Sheridan Center website, it gives only finite window when it can be done, and this window is closing at 5 p.m. on Tuesday. It means resolve all your grade issues on Monday, because 5 p.m. on Tuesday it is like last moment. On 5 p.m. on Tuesday I have to finish entering grade and click Save button. Right? Any grade change after 5 p.m. on Tuesday, let's say at 4, because I can click Save button on 4. After this I cannot change. Can be done only through paperwork. I'm writing form to associate dean, needs to change grade, and associate dean sign it. This form goes to registrar office. They enter this grade. Because we don't have access to final grades after deadline, which is Tuesday, 5 p.m. Slate grades are always available, but changing slate grades will not propagate to changing your final grade, because it's so totally different system, not linked in any sense. Is this clear? Okay. About exam, I already discussed content. If for any reason you cannot come to exam, it's better to be good reason, because if it's bad reason, you cannot take it later. What is good reason? Good reason is like something that not depends on you, and it should not be result of your bad decision. For example, reason got into traffic, I cannot come to exam. This is the result of previous bad decision, just because you probably started to drive too late. Okay, so this will not be taken as good reason to take exam later. Hopefully it will not happen. So you all in class. Exam is not difficult, so don't use fake excuses, obviously. But if you have some health issue, because health issues happen, it happened to me, so I couldn't come on Tuesday, and it happened to other students as well. You need to notify me as soon as you know about this issue, like before class, before exam starts, or when exam ends, or the same day. I assume that, at least close. Okay. If you do not notify me before grades are due, I'm reporting F for exam. Because it will be assumed that you just didn't care, so you didn't come. If you need to take exam afterwards due to some issues, that's due to respectable reason, but you cannot manage to take it before grades due, and if it happens, it will be incomplete grade. Incomplete must be filled within, I believe, 2 weeks after it is reported, or 3 weeks after it is reported. After this, it becomes automatic F. But if it is automatic F, you still can fill it, but it will be F till you fill this. Okay. When incomplete cannot be finished, it's a decision essentially by associate dean. It's not my decision, so if associate dean says it's too late, it is too late. Default, it's, I believe, 2 weeks or 3 weeks after exam or something, after incomplete is reported. Okay. Hopefully it will not happen. Incompletes do happen, but not often. Typically one incomplete per entire winter term or something like that. So it's if you need to take exam at testing center, you need to let me know as soon as you schedule appointment, so I can set up slate, because probably different timing. So it is a separate issue. You need to tell me about it. Questions about exam? No? Now, this, I will upload it to Slate today during lesson when we finish discussion. I didn't upload it yet because it's wrong format. I will open Photoshop, convert it into JPEG, and upload it. Slate will not open because it's wrong format. These are files for image and to display. For the exam, it will be different files also provided in similar format. So it will not be drastically different what is inside. It will be just different data and different types of data. So let's finish discussion of exam, if no questions. No? So let's continue a discussion of previous lesson. At the previous lesson, I explained it variant of the code where we had saving data locally in a browser and saving data locally in a browser and receiving data from the server. A video that was recorded for that lesson came from another section. It's not posted. I will also post it tonight or maybe morning tomorrow. It is recorded in another section, and I felt better on that morning. So I did coding in front of you. I didn't do coding, I explained it. I explained it code that resulted from morning section. Today I will quickly run the code to remind what is going on, but without deep explanation, because deep enough explanation happened in the previous lesson. Today we do extra step discussing theory how it can be done differently if project is large. So I will open code. I assume that you already cloned it, and I will open it from hard drive. In order to run the code of previous section, my desk game Angular, I also need to run server. So I will open server and run it. After this, I will open my desk game and run it. Dice roll as service. And run it. These are messages, and this server also, this server prints messages when it interacts with client. So when it receives request, it prints how many dice needs to be rolled. When it sends response, it sends displays data that is sent. Next, I will open client that was explained in the previous class. Open, and also projects. Dice game Angular. My dice game Angular, not that one. So my dice game Angular. Open a new window. When you do exam, when you do practice, when you do assignment 4, do not forget about this line in appconfig.ts. If it's not there, it cannot send request and receive response. It will not work without it. Let's run Angular application, and I open it branch using server and storage. It is what was explained in the class. Last thing. As you see, it displays previous result of the previous run, and it's not coming from the server. It is stored in a browser. So you see, it didn't interact with client yet. So it loaded from local storage of a browser. So when JavaScript is related to the page is running, it's read it is run. It is checking if it is stored, and if it's stored, it will read it. We discussed it in the previous lesson. So more tools, developer tools. If you open in developer tools local storage, you will see dice value is 5311. 5311. When we roll dice in this example, like we change it to 2, for example, send request, it will come to the server. Server will send a result of the roll, and this will save data to local storage. So it will save it in case that you need to recover the data later by pressing reload. If you press reload button, just go to this site if it is bookmarked. So you see, I click it roll, and it prints number of dice 2 because I selected 2. It is roll result is 2, 3, and total 5. 2, 3, total 5. And it is also saved, so if you do reload, it's not resending your requests. It is the same. So most programs need to maintain local data and get data from a server. So there are libraries that helps you to do it. So doing everything from scratch, like here, because we did it from scratch, is not practical if program needs to do a lot of data displaying and processing and storing. So there are libraries for it. For each framework, if you use React, you need to use Redux library. It's called Redux. It's spell it Redux. If you use Angular, it is NGRX. So let's discuss that library, assuming that this program is done with it. And again, I spent 2 hours, didn't do even half, and decided to postpone it. So code is long. Also, since I'm doing this like second program in my life using this, I'm doing this slower. So bottom line, learning curve is slow. If you need to learn it, don't give yourself 2 hours. It is several evenings, essentially, or maybe more. It's not 2 hours, it's not 3 hours. I did it before, but it was a couple versions ago and more than a year ago, so it took time to recover in memory. So what is the general idea? A way to get information. It is from NGRX. NGRX website. You go there, click Get Started, and read the explanation. I will quickly tell what I read, and I tried to write code, and it's not like it didn't work. It didn't work for obvious reason. It was only half of the code. Because not because I wrote it, it didn't work. Because I didn't finish it within 2 hours. So what is the idea behind it? There is a way to do global storage in the application, in Angular application. But besides that it is global, you can also partition it per page. But also, even if it is partitioned, it is global. So you can associate pieces of it with pages. When you use it, you use router store. So this one. So it is additional packages to it. There is a way to do it not globally, and in this case you use signals. We didn't discuss signals in this course. It's a new topic, about a couple of years old. It recently became stable, so I decided just to skip it for now. So before using signals from this library, you also need to learn signals, what is in general in Angular. Good idea. I didn't explain it, so learn it when you need it. And more, so it is quite large. So how it will behave if a dice roll is done this way? This store object will contain global data, but it could, since it's object, it can contain multiple pieces, like any JavaScript object. In order to select data from it, we create selector. A selector is a special class that gives you observable based on information how to retrieve the data from the store object. Observable is given to component, and components already know how to do with observable because we did it. We already know how to use observable in components. We subscribe for update of the data either with directly with lambda function or with observer object, or we can use a sync pipe. We already know how to deal with observable. Selector, it's an object that defines how to select it, lambda function how to select it, and it gives observable to component. Next, if we do not involve local storage or web storage, what would be the simplest way to do it with NGRX? We create actions. Actions are also objects. Action contains data and description, but it does not contain any other code. So how to process it? Essentially, it's a label what you need to do, or kind of support ticket. Okay. For a label contains 2 parts. It is string of 2 parts. First part is location, and second part event. For example, dice roller dice roll its location on roll dice its event. And data, it's also contain data number of dice. So we create actions for everything that we need that involves data, involves changing the data. For example, reset dice, roll dice for the given number, reset back to not roll it, and so on. What is reducer? Action itself does not change the data. A reducer will react on dispatching action. So we call method dispatch of store object to dispatch this action. So a reducer provides instructions in terms of lambda function how to change this data. A reducers, it's more than one. A reducer, depending on algorithms changing, reducers are activated by dispatching actions. So consider this is like support ticket, and reducer it's actual person who is doing the work of support or whatever, fixing, right? A repair ticket or repair order, and that will be repairman. So a reducer will change the data. Since selector gave observable, and we don't unsubscribe in this case, new data will cause notifying observer. It means when we put new data, it will call your lambda function in the component again to update the screen again. So it will remain linked. It will stay still linked unless you unsubscribe. What if we need to get data from internet? It is a similar idea, but in this direction, like that. So it goes like this and goes like that. How it behaves. You create different actions. For example, first action was roll locally, second action roll on server. And click on the button that match the action. In this case, you dispatch this action. But there is no reducer linked to that action, so it will not update the data directly. You create effect. Unlike reducer that is changing the data directly, effect is running some code and returning another action that is dispatched. So effect, it's an object, but usually it's object. That contains instruction how to execute data exchange, and the result of this request will be object with data inserted later to it. So it will be observable object. So assuming that we interact with the server, we send request and send whatever get function, give us observable, and data will be inserted into observable. Remember that we can do observable transformations using .pipe. Action is also formally observable. It means data that is received inside of observable could be converted to action. And conversion is defined in the code of effect. For example, that action was roll on server. It activates effect. Effect will send data, send request. In the response, it will be first observable object. That observable object will be converted by pipe into action. Action is dispatched, and this action will be either error or success, right? Since action can contain data, that action will contain data received from the server. You put it yourself in the code using pipe. This action will activate some reducer, so it will go this way, that you created to react on that dispatched action. And that reducer will update data in the store. This data is propagated to selector, right? Or because selector is linked to the data. Selector is also linked to observable inside of component, so it will update the screen. So this is the logic behind of using this library. And kind of introduction, because there are multiple other additional things. Library is large, it definitely deserves our attention. In order to explain this in details, it is definitely several lessons. It's not one, not two, it's not even three. Okay. I did it in the end just to provide link to more advanced stuff. Hopefully next year I will link it more. I will also talk about necessity of logins. The best way to implement login code is also using this library. Because data is stored in one place, in one object, and it is changed only by reducer, so it controls it from one way. Reducer, so it is controlled from one way, so it's easy to maintain consistency of the code, consistency of the state. And definitely, you logged in or you didn't log in, it is state of your program. And based on that state, it will probably display different data or navigate differently. So it makes sense to use state for login logic. So this is my high recommendation. Find examples for that when or if you need it. And warning, there is a learning curve for it, so it's not one evening learning, it's more.